Hey people, in that last movie I was showing you this word why come, and they had the correct translation on it. It was here in the Latin, and they say it's because, and that's what it means, it means how come. And my little girl says that, why come, don't know where she got it from. It's Adam language, it's just natural. But why is what I say in the Hebrew a lot, that you often see it starts most of the lines and start with just the vav and the yod, and it means how or who. It means how come, and it's pronounced why come, and it means how come. And the same in Spanish, the same word for why and because, porque. And you'll often see this opposite of in the Greek, the adi, and in the Hebrew it'd be the k. Why come when call him, and because he hoof it. And it's here at the top of Genesis 19 when the two angels come to Sodom. And in the Latin, this why come, it's short for how do you and come to this conclusion. How did you get here? Why come? Tell me why. Tell me how'd you add this up. And I tell you the why, it means how or who, not why, but how or who. And then he rose, is who come. The same thing. Why come and who come. Same word. And this is why come vidis yet has. I have yet to see it. The vidis, to see, and the double S makes this a Y. Y-E-T, yet. I have not yet saw it. And has, H-O-S, H-A-S. And then in the spirit of the poetry, the same as the Greek and the Hebrews, he's run it all together, and he starts the next word with the S and a double R. Why come vidis yet has he where he exit? And I have not yet seen, why come, because seen yet. Have not seen has he where he exit. He hasn't been out the gate, And that's what they do. They sitting at the gate. They watching the gate, because they're waiting to see somebody leave. And down here in the Greek, there's the word heldandi and adondi. And this seeing, this is coming from dondi. Dondi, where is it? Where is dondi? And I dondi, the hand on, to point it out. Show me where it is. And seeing. Show me where it's at. Adondi. And this is more helped here. Or hilt, if you got a gun on your side, your hilt, and your hilt on, you're carrying, and hilt on it, got a hard on. And if you was going to replace this with a single word, it's more of a it, I-T, than and. The and is the K, the K-I-A. And notice in the Greek here, the Hesper and the Vesper, it's the same. This is where Lucifer comes from. It's the evening star. Same Venus. But it lets you know if she came up in the evening, she was a whore and whoring. And so this sounds like Hollywood trying to create a language that you would understand at the play. And they were creating a language for an old primitive people, the Indian language. And then as you learn to read it, you see how primitive we are. But back in the day, the king and his visor, they would go sit at the gate at Sodom. In the gate of Sodom, that's ass. They would go out there in the evening, in whoring, B-O-R-B, in whoring, out there in the evening. And they would watch the girls, the ass at the gate, and them angels. And so this word, you see how it evolved. It wasn't anything close to angel in the Hebrew. But it meant titties. It was feminine. It was a woman. Either way, if you're looking at that as a lacum, milk, the lacum, or if you're reading it as a N, L before the A as a N, and knockums, them titties. And YN of sin, them knockums, Sodom, like your rock'em sock'em robots, your knock'em Sodom of whoring. And will with, W-L-W-T-H, will with is in. And will with in the double V, ring as a visor. Will with his visor is Siddim, They sitting out there by the gate watching the whores in the evening, with Vesper. Why in 'em sin of knock 'em Sodom whoring will with his visor set 'em where all with who come o frat 'em, go meet 'em and talk to 'em and wish to spell it with a THW to shape, to, and wish to of he marks, the shape of a marks, to put his mark on it, and face to the ground and put your brand in its ass. And so I Googled this 2 years ago when I first started messing around with this, and it came out with a picture of a cave into a mountain. It's an entrance that you could tell it goes somewhere. You don't know where it goes. You can't tell where it goes, but you can tell that it goes somewhere. There's traffic through it. The wish to of he marks. So why in of sin a knock 'em Sodom have whoring? That's when you went out with your buddies Friday night, gone down to the river, looking for a knock 'em sock 'em whore. And why in of sin them knock 'em Sodom of whoring will with his visor. And read it with the marks, it's then made, MD, made Sodom. And where at will with, why come o frat 'em. And if you read it with the A words backwards, it's a wish to my fest, the F and an A-E reads E-S-T, a fest share. A to, that place to, a fest share, to my face toward the muffin. And then in the Greek, it's hilt. It hilt on it. Hilt on it the two angle, his Sodom messifer as. Hilt on it that with a hard on, the two buddies go out fishing, angling, his for some Sodom mess, M-E-S-S, a messifer as. And knowing that the only time that this star comes up is after the sun goes down, and I think within 3 hours after the sun goes down. Allot it, lot it, the catch it. The lot of catch a top are it in Polyan. Poly is many, in the city, them Polyan, many in the city. The pollen, all the flowers. The pollen Sodomon, and Adondi pointed out, the hand on it, the finger on it, pointed out, and seeing, there she blows. Adondi, the lot, and all of 'em. It saveseth his, it's his, it saveseth his sin on this in. Claim these for myself, and rose up, and been saved, and saveseth his sin on this in of this. And proskine is to force of, proskine, face down, ass up, and do some obeisance. And proskine is it to force of, if it tingin, to leave a stain is a tingin. The force of if he tingin. And this is a word that isn't used anywhere except in the Bible. And, it's not going to tell you straight, but it was referred to showing devotion and reverence to God in the Greek culture, in the ass. Face down, ass up. Homage shown to men and beings of superior rank, Jewish high priests, God, Christ, heavenly beings, and demons. On your knees. That crazy old engineer on the boat, and he used to have this saying. He said, I don't turn none of them down except the little boys, and I turn them face down. And there's only 2 words starting with the A, and this one of them here. And to meet them, this is an old sailor's word, and the sin on this ends, the sins of J-O-T, and VA turns into the TE, a Jody, a Jody, a Jody. That's the guy who's with your girl when you're out on the boat, is Jody. And so the sin, the SYN, that's together on. The sin on is together on the sins, together them. The Jody and your wife, the sins, Jody. And there's only two words that's going to flip here. The other one's the angel. And so you could imagine it, it's the same word, to meet them. And it's talking about to meet the two, so it's the same word. It's a pronoun, still pointing the same finger. But it changes this angel to y'all, and y'all in, and then the GAE, it reads as a GESIS. And the two of y'all in Jesus, ancient word for the screaming going on during sex, love, a yeses. And the Jesus sodomist, the Jesus sodomessifer as a lottie to catch a topper at in appalling, many poly, the many in Sodomon, the hand on it, the yard on it, the hand on it, Lotta saveth his. A sin, the SYN, together on the sins, a Jody. And preskyne is it to force above, to force of, a Pythagogen. And then in the Latin, this there came, this is coming from the errant, when the errant, when errant, and the QUE really is a we. When errant we, when gone on an errant we, to, and the same as the Greek, read the A word backwards. Illeg, ILEGN, alleging as, and they alleging that they had two of them snuck off, to when errant we two alleging as autumn, a vesper, in the evening. And, just evolve. Don't never pronounce that as ET. Just, it's an and or a W. And was said in telat in. That's what we had said. Four of us civadities. And so this is the language it's written in. It's said in tel at info, info rebus, in the rebus language, in the picture language. It left a secret message. Info rebus civatis, or cividities. Why come vidis yet has, I haven't seen this yet. Why come vidis see it has a where exit, over there by the back door, to left a sign in rebus, who come see yet has, that he hasn't yet seen at the exit. And then this looks like the code, a wivit, WIVIT, a wivit, obvium, the obvi, the egg, the obvium, his adorn it, in Q or we, and prone was interium, a pronacentarium. We are prone to fuck up. We the fuck up kings, and a pronus interium, in that place where you can fuck up, and meet you on the back porch. So they used to keep these ancient calendars over there close by the gate wall. And so the time man, he's looking at the shadow on the wall. And anybody could get the timekeeper's time clock by looking at it over there. Oh, wivit obvium, to wivit the egg. Obvium certainly coming from a word meaning something to do with the moon. And his adorn of it Q, the mark to put your face down to the ground. And prone to sin, prone to sin. And the terium, your secretary. Your secretary's earth. When errant Q to a legend as Sodom Vesper. You know, maybe after the Sodom, the buddy, and the after a Vesper, late evening. It's said in Tel Info Erebus Civitatis. And hopefully that'll come back to me as I watch this. Why convitis yet has he wary exit? Avivit obvium his adornit Q. Pronacentarium. You know, prono is lying face down. You flip it over, do porno. But prono is face down. You know, the face down centarium. And so this kind of gives us the Latin definition for angel. You know, when you read it back the other ways, it's a legend. You know, it's a legend. Nobody's ever had any proof of any angel. They all come from a legend. A legend as Sodom. You know, that would be a legend as Sodom. That would be a mermaid. And I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.